Welcome back to the battlefield. Today's episode is kicking off with the battle on the outskirts of Camalodunnan. The brave British garrison has realized their impending doom and decided to try and seize an opportunity to lift the siege and buy themselves time for reinforcements. However, they have no chance of winning. I could actively try to let them win, but obviously I'm not going to do that. Anyway, let's get in there and smash them up. Now, I just barely went through and recorded this stuff. And of course, so normally when I record, I do a quick little check just to make sure everything's recording correctly. Just to make sure I don't waste a bunch of time recording stuff. Of course, today I did that, I didn't do that because the last several times I've recorded there have been no problems. So I figured, you know what, let's just get in there and let's just start playing. And then played through a couple hours worth of this campaign, only to find out that even though none of my settings have changed, for some reason all of the audio just wasn't recorded. So I'm mildly frustrated at best and severely annoyed at worst. But it is what it is. We will go ahead and move forward from there. No sense complaining too much about it. But let me just say, I am not good with technology, and my goodness, it bites me in the butt sometimes. We'll go ahead and just have all of our cavalry out on this flank. I don't really think it'll matter too much. This battle should be quite straightforward. Let's take the slingers off of fire at will, just because we don't want to be causing any friendly fire if we can avoid it. Let's get in there and smash them up.
Our reinforcements have arrived. Our hidden units have been discovered.
Alright, slingers. Get ready to do your thing.
Noble horse!
Alright, we're in range. Go ahead and start targeting their slingers. I want my guys to use their javies right off the bat.
Quickly now!
Looks like we have a little bit too much force up here, so let's start swinging them around.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
It's a little bit odd that the AI is sitting right at the edge of javelin range. I suppose it's because they think they have the missile advantage. With their general moving forward, the majority of our units over here should start pelting him with javelins. Just kidding, he's out of range still. Alright, well, let's move the infantry in just a little bit to get things going. It's not quite what I meant to do over here. Okay, you lot move here.
One of our units has
You
used all its
guys
ammunition.
move here. We're missing out on charge bonuses. Picked a really bad time to look away there, but it'll be alright. Nothing too concerning. Go ahead and turn these guys around and have them hit their general in the rear. Start moving the cavalry out and around the flank.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
You guys go ahead and use your javies. You guys go ahead and charge.
Noble horse!
Ideally, we would surround them so that they don't really have anything left in their garrison. Yeah, surround them and wipe them out, just to make the upcoming battle even easier. That's a unit of spears that I would rather not charge straight into. The frontline fight is going swimmingly. We're smashing through them without any issues. You guys go ahead and just charge into that blob. You guys keep working your way around the edge. Try and have the slingers stop doing so much friendly fire. Ask these guys not to use their javelins because friendly fire is our enemy right now. Keep as many of these units chasing as we can, just to try and wipe out the garrison to the degree possible, the highest degree possible. Go ahead and just let the infantry get out of the way and have the cavalry do the work. That unit is just townsfolk, and they're basically wiped out anyway. Hit the wrong button. I pressed R to increase the speed that they move at, and I accidentally pressed T, which changes the battle speed. Go ahead and just wrap up this last little bit. Alright, and in decisive fashion we have eliminated the garrison.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
That's what we like to see. Only 4 kills from friendly fire. Less than 100 men fell in this battle, and their army is pretty much completely wiped out. 1 unit of spears might have survived. If they did, it's unfortunate, because it'll mean we have to launch the actual attack on Camelidonan on our turn, instead of just taking the city now. And it'd be nice if we could take the city now, both for financial reasons and for replenishment reasons. I like to have my armies at full strength as often as possible. Got him with the good old stab through the top of the shoulder with an axe head. We'll go ahead and get some slave population going. Looks like I guess I was mistaken. I thought if we wiped out the garrison we would automatically take the city, but oh no, what happened is they still have their garrison fleet, and that's prevented us from immediately taking the city. It's alright, we're still making some money from raiding. We'll take a little bit of attrition from sieging the settlement. Or maybe we won't. I guess we didn't take any attrition from that. No, we did take a little. Let's go ahead and auto-resolve this really quick. 0 casualties. That's what we like to see. And that's a colossal sum of money that would be great to have. But the city itself is built up pretty well, so I think I'll just occupy it. That way we'll keep the population, we won't hurt public order too bad. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Now immediately, let's disband all of these farmers. We don't really need them anymore. This is also more archers than I really should be keeping in an army. Skirmish units tend to only be able to basically trade 1 for 1 in battles. They can usually get 150 to 250 kills. like during a good battle, so it's, in my experience, it's better to have a select group of them to deal with any particularly dangerous enemy skirmishers, but then for the most part just let cavalry do that work. Alright, no construction needs to be done. We're trying to make friends with the Irish. It would be very, very nice if we could simply confederate them. Unfortunately, I am completely blocked from landing. Okay, I'm not. Just for some reason the pathfinding was such that I couldn't land, because their army happened to be right on the beach. Right, now their garrison is quite weak here. It'll get stronger in 4 turns. But they do have, by the time I get over there, they'll basically have 2 full stacks worth, plus walls to deal with. I have just captured a cavalry building. However, the cavalry it lets me recruit are quite low tier and really not very useful. It might be better for me to just trade out some of these units and start picking up some more heavy infantry. Over here, I'm definitely going to need more of these axemen. I wouldn't mind getting some of these Britannic Slinger Spearmen, but obviously I need a different reform level for that. And these Irish Raiders would be nice as well. Another option is we could attack the Lexovii and try and secure this port city as a beachhead into our mainland Europe assault. But for now, I think it would be best if we just played things a little bit slow, did some slight recovery, and got our economy really booming. Now, it's possible I could send out a fleet and go discover a whole bunch of other factions and start trade, but I've always thought that was kind of cheesy and lame. I tend to avoid doing that. I occasionally do it, but lately in the campaigns I've been playing, I try to avoid it. Anyway, let's have these guys patrol. Our influence is not great, but we are respected by the tribes, and I think that's the sweet spot to be at, is being respected by the tribes. You get plus 2% tax rate versus plus 1%. Or you know what? Overlooked gives me... what on earth? Being overlooked gives me better bonuses? That is very, very confusing to me. Being disrespected is not good. Wow, being overlooked by the tribes is arguably the best place to be politically. Fascinating. Well, I don't play barbarian factions very often, so that's why that's a bit of a surprise to me. And by I don't play them very often, I mean I don't play them at all, ever. Alright, let's go ahead and pop out of the city. I'm confident that the Brits will not charge out and attack. Let's stay in the city, whatever. It'll help keep our income a little bit higher. Yeah, let's just end the turn. Just kidding, we have an edict to issue. Commercial stimulation might be really good, but let's just start off with the tax rate. Now, another thing I could do is start switching out some of these buildings, because I don't necessarily need as much sanitation as I have. I could lose 5 sanitation per turn in every single one of these cities and not be worse for wear as a result. Alternatively, I could lose 2 sanitation per turn, but then I would also lose out on the 10% wealth from farming. And what I kind of want to do is switch this over to a farm. So let's just go ahead and do that now, because the other thing I want to do is switch this fishing village over to a boatyard. However, that's going to take some additional research. So starting next turn, we'll get that research going. I definitely want to have a naval presence, but our naval capabilities are very, very limited, especially by the fact that we can't ram with any of our ships. And that is one of the greatest strengths of using a navy, is just ramming enemy ships until they're destroyed. Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe I don't really care about having a navy. Eventually, in the very long term, if I stick with this campaign until way late stages, you have to have a certain amount of naval units in order to complete missions. But I'm not too concerned about that right now. Alright, so right off the bat, let's go ahead and start on the shallow keel. That will allow us to construct a harbor. It'll be a little bit of a downgrade in tier, from a tier 3 building to a tier 2, but I think that's worth the trade. We don't need to start recruiting over here yet. I'm actually going to drop these guys out of the army as well, just to save a little bit of extra money. A whopping 300 gold per turn. Later we can pick up a bunch more of these axemen, but for the time being we'll just patrol.
Ready for battle. I would walk to the other world for my tribe.
Oh, do you know what I ought to do? I should have this army, or I should have one of my armies have the lighter troops and the other army have heavier troops for now. Whatever. We'll just leave it how it is. It's not worth taking the time to move stuff around right now, I don't think. Check in with the Irish once more, see if there's any progress towards non-aggression with them.
I've called for good ale to ease your throat and...
I don't want to throw too much money at them.
You have an honest tongue.
While we're here, we'll take a quick glance and see if anyone else wants trade.
We will gladly listen to your offer.
No, okay. Alright, politically speaking, things look just fine. I could start sending these people out to initiate diplomacy. You know what? Why don't we try that? Let's send you over to the Irish, see if you can make something happen with diplomacy. If not, your faction has high enough loyalty that they won't immediately rebel. Advanced saddle, where is that? That's the next one. Okay, I would like to get this research completed as soon as possible so that I can start recruiting better cavalry. But the main thing I need to do is get towards recruiting siege equipment. Sieges can be very tricky in this game. Or in this mod, rather. Alrighty. Let the spy wander around a little bit. I completely forgot to move and deploy them, but it is what it is. It's not a major priority right now since we're not out of food. Our spy has uncovered additional forces from the Iceni tribe. So launching a direct assault is looking more and more like a terrible idea. Clever tactician. Alright, well, that's good. It means we had some positive diplomacy. Improving relations is always a benefit. Now, I have a choice. Do I increase increase my earnings? Or do I increase my martial prowess? I've spent the time to do the research. I may as well do that. Go for the stronger armies right off the bat. Yeah, a direct frontal assault is seeming like a terrible, terrible idea right now. I'm surprised at how many noble swordsmen they have, given that I don't have access to recruit any similar quality infantry. But it is what it is. You lot... Do I really need these units at all, or can I ditch them as well? That would be another nearly 400 gold, 350 odd gold per turn. Of course, at that point, do I need to keep any of these units? Yeah, we'll keep the medium spears for now. We'll go ahead and get rid of these lighter spears, and we'll just let the rest of them keep patrolling. Now, something else I ought to do is send one of my governors down to my main province. Yeah, we'll go ahead and send you down here. And I think that's everything for this turn. I almost forgot the spy again. Why don't you go check this area out?
I can't go no further. That's it. The shadows are friends.
This has me very sorely tempted to get across the water and attack this city. Because I was saying earlier, a frontal assault looks like a pretty bad idea. So securing a foothold, a beachhead, and then building from there would probably make eliminating the Iceni significantly easier. In an effort to accomplish that task, I'm going to start switching out some of these units. Now, what I would like to do is keep some of these hidden warriors back on the defensive. It's a little bit annoying that these guys are taking attrition. I'm not quite sure why they're taking attrition. Alright, well, whatever. They're taking attrition, it is what it is. Lose a little bit of manpower for seemingly no reason. While we're here, why don't we just go ahead and... Oh, we don't have the money, that's why. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick up one unit of axemen, because I'd like to get across the water with lots of heavier infantry instead of the lighter infantry. So we'll need to pick up a bunch of axemen, and I think I will move this army down to Iska and launch from there across to this little beachhead. Yeah, that seems like a decent plan to me. Now, I suspect nothing over here has really changed. Low chance of getting military access or even non-aggression, so let's just move on from there. Desertion, 154 men lost their lives in the snows of winter.
The mother protects travelers.
We're close enough to reinforce Camelidonin from there, so let's go ahead and swap these units over.
Moon goddess, guide my steps.
Yeah, we'll go with 2 units of spears, the extra axemen,
Getting on our way.
and then we can pick up whatever extras we want.
Guide my steps. Hail to the mother.
We'll go ahead and let you guys patrol. We'll pick up the extras here. Probably just get a couple more units of axemen, maybe some spearmen. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Spears might be good just in case there's any cavalry contingent to deal with.
I would walk to the other world for my tribe.
Alright, the Alexovii have at least 2 settlements. And it looks like they... Yeah, I thought they were at war. It looks like they haven't captured the Pictones' last settlement, but it appears like they are thrashing them in the war.
We have need of talk.
Again, let's
I'm
keep
sure.
working
We
towards...
also need good food, a warm fire, and warm women.
Let's keep working towards a non-aggression pact here. We would like to confederate as soon as
Yes.
possible. Excellent. Progress in the right direction. We need our lovely administrator to begin his work as soon as possible. I'm not even 100% sure I will be able to convince the Irish to join a confederation, but I'm hopeful it'll work out. Alright, that should be all for this turn, except for Oxman over here, Oxogaros.
What do you wish of me?
Oxogaros. He needs some leveling up, and then let's also get the research rate. That should be fine for now. So I want to keep one army that's at about half strength in the British Isles as a defensive force on the off chance that the Irish decide to attack and betray me, or on the other chance that the Iceni will cross the water and launch an offensive in an attempt to regain their territory. Territory that we took through the trial of combat, fair and square. But so far, they have seen fit to do a whole lot of nothing. Let's go ahead and park you guys just outside the settlement and let you patrol.
Hail to the mother. How can I
This army
thirsty for battle? To your duty.
is going to run over to Iska,
Call this a garrison?
pick up a couple more axemen,
Fight with us. It's a good
and then prepare to get across the water. I might have to wait until spring, because next turn will be fall. We'll get out in the water, and there's a chance that the winter movement penalty will prevent me from making it all the way across, and then I'll just take 2 turns worth of attrition, which would be very, very bad. You don't want to lose 20% of your offensive force before you even make it to enemy territory.
Hail to the mother. How can I help?
This army is actually reasonably good. They have quite a bit of cavalry, so instead of the axemen, I think I'm going to pick up a couple more spears. No, the two spears will be enough.
Are you ready to do your
Because we can run these cavalry units together, and supported by a spear unit, they should be able to win most engagements. We can use this other spear unit to work with the general on the opposite flank. That should be plenty if we were to go up against this army. Our infantry should be fairly evenly matched with their axemen, although their axemen far outnumber ours. Anyway, hopefully we won't even engage this army for a long time. Let's just wander around a little bit and see who is out there.
The mother protects travelers. On the move.
May as well have you deploy, just get some extra experience. Let's check on the Irish. How do you feel about us? Very friendly. That is good.
You honor us. There's food enough for 2 armies awaiting us when we have talked.
Is there any chance they would join a war? No. They like the Iceni quite a bit. Or I guess they don't like them a ton, but they are not sworn enemies. Right, let's go to the next turn. And I've forgotten to start the administration of this fine gentleman. This esteemed, wise tribesman. It's interesting to see all of these battle markers. I don't usually look closely enough at the campaign map to actually see any of these. But we have done quite a bit of fighting in an effort to secure freedom for ourselves and our kinsmen. Alright, now we are at a point that we can start. I should have done that last turn, but we can switch this over to a more militarized port. And let's start working towards proper siege equipment with the rest of our research. You go ahead and hang out in the marshes. To build that up, well, which one would offer me more money in the short term? 12% wealth from all sources is excellent. Definitely looks like this one will offer us more. Let's go ahead and pop into the port here and just see what happens. Where is it? Why is this so difficult? It shouldn't be.
Hail to the mother! How can I help?
Let's just hang out in the port and see what happens. Maybe it'll make things easier next turn. Now, I will need to send a secondary army across, because if we take this settlement, then we will both need to defend it and launch an attack elsewhere. Looks like the Pictones are holding their ground, if only just.
How can I, moon goddess, guide my steps?
That's good, though. It means that the Lexovii should only have one army, and that will make them a lot easier to bring down. Alright, so let's wait for next turn to see what it brings. Might not be a bad idea even to send one of these generals up to this province here to do some administration. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll lose out on a little bit of tax rate in Britannia, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I don't know. Maybe that's a really bad idea. I just don't know. I've been playing this mod for 700 hours, and there's so many little details I've just never actually checked on. But anyway, I think, assuming all goes well in this end turn, and it is as uneventful as the previous ones have been, I think I'll go ahead and end the episode here, and we will pick up next time with the invasion of mainland Europe and see how much success we can find there. But anyway, as always, well, you know what, before I end it real quick, I'm kind of curious what you guys think. So this episode has been fairly uneventful, at least in terms of battles. We had the one right off the bat at the beginning, but there's just been a lot of administration since then. I watch a bunch of other people who do campaigns in Total War games, and many of them have a tendency to cut out the turns where not much is happening. I personally like to leave them in just so you guys can see my decision making. But if you guys have an opinion on it, let me know whether I should cut these kind of slow turns out or if I should leave them. And we'll go from there. As always, I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.